Hi, this is Dave Johnston with Day Trade the Markets. We've just been filled short here on two contracts in the E-mini S&P December contract at 2104 even. The market, of course, had a big down day yesterday. This is Wednesday, November the 2nd. So we're looking for a bit of a probe up. This probe up that we had in here, let me just get this here. We had a little bit of selling just at the end of yesterday, so this is where it opened today. A probe up into here, slightly higher high, slightly higher high. Pretty good rejection off of this bar right in here. We really need to get below this area here to really feel good, I think, about this short. Got a trade location zone up in here. We have probed above it, but immediately came back down inside of it. So that's a bearish indication with our next objective being down in here. So I actually think the market will likely not only get down into here, but a lot lower. So in my view, it probably needs to get down to about the 98 area. So we've only got the two contracts in here because it's not I wouldn't consider this a huge opportunity as far as this particular trade is concerned, but I do like the action, and it has been rejected in the higher prices, and we're just going to let this sit for a little bit. I'm going to put in a protective buy stop up here at 6, so we'll put in the buy stop at 6, and we'll put in, we're going to try and buy one of the contracts down here around 98.50, so I'll put that buy limit in, and who knows, it could even get going more than that, but that's the trade for the moment, so we'll let that unfold. I'll pause the recording and pick it up when needed. Okay, we're starting to get some follow through to the downside. We have reached, as you can see, our kind of our first objective, if you will, which is our support area here within the day trade the market software. So I'm going to lower that stop now down to break even, and so it's moved from well, it had that little bounce up, which is nice because when you have an aggressive bar, which is this green bar here, that's aggressive buying, our second strongest aggressive buying bar. And you can see its low was taken out immediately. So pretty good rejection off an attempt by the buyers to take it up. So we've come down, hit our level really right on the dot there at 01. So it's moved 3 points in our favor. I know I put this buy limit down here at 98. So we just got the two contracts on here. So I think for now I'll just go ahead and leave that in there. We've got a break-even stop. The other option, just to be clear on it, is obviously, when the market comes down to an anticipated area of support, that's usually your first objective, if you're short like we are. I think in this case, though, we just got the two contracts on because it's been, fairly volatile. So I think for now, I'm just going to leave it the way it is as a break even. And see if we can get down to this 98 or so area and just kind of take it from there. It might be a mistake, but well, let's see here. It's down to 1. Yeah, we've only got the two contracts on. I tell you what, I'm going to lower this stop here to 03, just a couple of ticks above this last light green bar. Light green bar is the weakest of our aggression bars, so I've put my stop now just a couple of ticks above that. So we'll just leave it like that. I'll pause the recording once again and pick it up when needed. Okay, just restarted the recording here. We just came down and got our fill. I put the marker in here at 98.50. So I'm going to go ahead and I need to reduce that number of contracts down to just 1. I'm also going to make an adjustment on that. You can see we had a bounce up here. I made the adjustment there. We had a bounce up with this aggressive buying, immediately took out its low. So I'm going to put the stop just above this last bounce, and that's at 175, so 2.25. I'll put the buy stop in right there at 2102.25. So that'll lock in to 1.75 points. So just bring you up to date on that. Now that it's hit that objective I was looking at around the 98 area, and you can see here we've got some very aggressive selling has come in. So it's the market's either going to really react from that and find some good buying and turn right around, And that's always a possibility because when you have a really aggressive selling bar, like and a magenta bar like this, an individual bar, the chances are greater than 50% that it's exhaustion. So and that could just be a temporary exhaustion where the market then has a bit of a bounce and would stop us out. So there is that potential. But in the down auction that we're in, it would seem to me that we've got, some fairly good selling in here. I'm just going to hold this stop, protective buy stop where it is, and take a look at, for example, where we could possibly see the next movement here. So um, the the this occurred right at. By the way, this uh, meant to actually mention that this is could be a news reaction to the crude. I'm just looking at the crude chart over in the other monitor here, and it had a bounce, and it sold off even more. Of course, it has been in a nice down auction of late. So, maybe it's going to have some follow through along with the crude to the downside. So that's a good sign. The next area would be around the 96. So just move that up a little bit. So I'll go ahead and put in just for our own purposes here, 96 and a quarter is our next objective here. So we'll see what we can get out of that. And I'll just once again go ahead and pause the recording. Okay, I was just going to make an adjustment on the stop here. Our next objective, as I said, was 96.25. We hit the 98.50. So we did have a bit of a bounce in here and then come back off. So I'm going to lower the stop to just above here, and that's at a price of 2100.25, so 2100.75. Lower the stop, and I'll put that marker in here. That is right at our resistance area, but I suspect, it could very well get up there, but now that the market has moved from 4 down to, it's moved 6.5, 6.75 points in our favor. So, I want to try and protect as much as that is reasonably possible. So that's why I've lowered this stop here. So just want to bring you up to date on that. And once again, I'll pause the recording. Okay, just got hit just a moment ago right here. So hit at on our buy stop at 2100.75, and our first exit was right here at 2098.50. So we were short from up here at 2104 down to 2098.50. So from 4 to 99, that's 5.5 points there, and the other one was from 4 to that would be 3.25 points. So 8.75 points on that. So not a bad trade. As far as the stop was concerned, maybe a little too tight. We'll see here shortly, because this is likely a resistance area. Could have maybe left it up in here, but just the same, you can see here that when we did get into this trade in this time frame, it only moved, I think it was what did it get up to? 1 point. So 4 ticks that moved against us, 1 point, and then it had a good move. So I think that's the beauty of the day trade the market software. You can really pinpoint some very good trade entry locations, so you're not taking too much heat on the trade, and that's always nice. And also the direction, because through the daily market assistant that we update each day, and taking a look at what we call our intraday directional bias, short-term and long-term, we can really get a good sense of the most likely direction in the market, who is prevailing in the current auction direction on a day-to-day basis. So anyway, that's it for today. If you have any more, or if you do have any questions at all, you can always reach us at info@daytradethemarkets.com. Thanks, and we'll see